character of Wonder Woman is synonymous with femininity, beauty, strength, and power, all qualities that make her one of the most iconic superheroes in history. But long before Lynda Carter or Gal Gadot ever wore the iconic outfit, and long before the character was even officially created, there was an actual flesh and blood lady who accomplished some extraordinary feats in her lifetime that qualify her as a real-life Wonder Woman. Her name was Volcana. She was born Miriam Kate Williams on May 6, 1874, in a small town in Wales. Her father was an Irish-born Baptist preacher who noticed early on that she had rather impressive physical strength that was quite uncommon for young girls of her age, and encouraged her to become involved in some manner of physical activity. In 1890, at the age of 16, Kate decided to take her father's advice and wandered into the local women's gym run by a man named William Hedley Roberts, a noted strongman who would change her life forever. William led a troupe of skilled athletes and regularly held local festivals that they usually headlined as entertainment. At one of these events in the town of Pontypool, one of the troupe fell ill and couldn't perform as planned. But in a demonstration of her soon-to-be trademark willingness to help people in need, Kate immediately stepped in to ensure that the show went on. In her first ever live performance, Kate became a favorite of the crowds by charming them with her feminine beauty and impressing them with her formidable strength, which made her realize that a life in show business was what she wanted. Under William's tutelage, Kate invested herself in improving her body and pushing her physical strength to the limit in order to break into the growing sport of professional weightlifting. But her relationship with William soon became something more than that of a student and a teacher. Now at this point you're going to have to put on your history glasses because the standards on dating ages back then were very different than they are today. Even though she was 11 years younger than him and he was already married, Kate and William fell madly in love, and soon after their meeting, they ran off together, beginning a very long partnership and romance. Arriving in London in 1892, William and Kate began their career of touring British music halls and the world at large, showing off their impressive physiques and astonishing the crowd with their awe-inspiring feats of strength and agility. Now, to avoid a scandal stemming from their complicated relationship, William and Kate decided to bill themselves as a brother and sister act and take on stage names befitting their physical capabilities. William became known as Atlas, and Kate took up the name Volcana. With their brand new stage names, they changed the name of their troupe to the Atlas and Volcana Group of Society Athletes. Now at this point you're probably wondering how strong Volcana really was, and here's where you're going to get bombarded by numbers. According to substantiated accounts, she successfully pulled off a bent press with her right hand holding a 124.5-pound weight, and also performed an overhead lift with a 56-pound weight in each hand, equaling 112 pounds total. In 1901, it was reported that she helped free a stuck wagon from a pothole by lifting the back end off the ground, much to the amazement of a crowd of onlookers. According to my research, the average weight of an empty wagon with no cargo or horses is somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,800 pounds at minimum. A British newspaper once wrote an article in 1902 that bore an impressive report in regards to her physical strength. Quote, "She can raise and hold above her head at arm's length a man weighing over 12 stone. Which, according to my research, is a weight of 168 pounds, and apparently she could do it with one hand. She was also the first ever woman to take on the Tomb of Hercules stunt, which involves the individual leaning backwards on the floor and supporting a platform with their abdomen, after which a large number of people would climb atop the platform. In her case, it was 2 horses and their attendants. But her crowning achievement would come on May 29, 1913 at Hagar's Theatre in Llanelli, where she successfully lifted a challenge bell that her rival strongwoman failed to lift after 25 minutes of trying. Her achievements earned her hundreds of medals over the course of her career, including one from French bodybuilding pioneer Edmond Desbonnet, and she even landed her picture on the cover of a French magazine entitled La Sarthe par les Sports. Yes, Volcana was indeed an extremely powerful woman, but she didn't limit herself to just weightlifting. She was a versatile athlete who was also gifted in swimming, wrestling, and fencing. She popularized the idea of physical fitness for women the world over and shattered the misconception that women were helpless and frail. But this muscled beauty didn't just stop at being an athlete and a celebrity. Remember when I said before that she had a fondness for helping people in need? Well, this woman was a proper superhero in that regard, as there are a few documented instances of heroism attributed to Volcana. The first documented act of her extraordinary bravery was in 1888 when she was only 13 years old. While in the town of Bristol, a horse had become spooked and started rampaging through the town. And Volcana stopped the horse right in its tracks. The second was in July of 1901 when she put her impressive swimming skills to the test by rescuing 2 children from drowning in the Usk River, being awarded for her bravery. The third was in 1902. Volcana was walking around London when suddenly a pickpocket attempted to steal her purse, to which she responded by reportedly knocking the thief out cold with one mighty punch. Boom! The fourth instance of her heroism came in 1910 when an aspiring singer and friend of hers named Cora Crippen turned up missing. She didn't believe Cora's husband, Dr. Hawley Crippen, when he told his wife's friends that she had traveled back to America and died of an illness. So she took her suspicions to Scotland Yard. This got the attention of the famed Inspector Walter Dew, and after a rather surprising investigation, Dr. Crippen briefly went on the lam with his young mistress before being arrested, convicted, and executed for the murder of his wife, whose body had reportedly been left to rot in a lime pit that was hidden in the Crippen home. So if you're keeping score, a murder case was opened and successfully closed thanks to the instincts of the lovely and powerful Volcana. The fifth and most dangerous act of heroism on her part came on the night of June 4th, 1921. The Atlas and Volcana group of society athletes were due to perform at the Garrick Theatre in Edinburgh when a fire broke out and engulfed the entire building. Another act due to perform that night managed to evacuate the burning theater, but their beloved horses that were a part of their act were still trapped within the blaze. Upon learning this, Volcana risked her life by racing back into the burning theater to find and save the horses that were trapped. She ended up suffering severe burns to her scalp and reportedly had all of her hair burned away by the fire. But she successfully led the trapped horses to safety and was commended and awarded for her courageous act. With all these incredible feats, Volcana proved to the world that she was not only a pretty face, she was a true hero. Eventually, the power couple's star began to fade when it had come out that Atlas had exaggerated some of his own physical feats, even being caught using weights that were lighter than he claimed. Volcana's reputation also took a hit by association, but it didn't take anything away from her tried and true achievements, though. Eventually, Atlas and Volcana retired in 1932, happily re-embracing their civilian names of William and Kate. Then in 1939, a devastating tragedy occurred when Kate was run over by a cab in London. The attending doctor did what he could to save her, but he was sadly forced to declare her dead. To which she responded by waking up, much to the shock of the doctor. At 65 years old, the mighty Volcana proved that she couldn't be killed that easily. Now, even though she had suffered some brain damage in the accident, she mostly recovered from it and lived the rest of her life peacefully and comfortably before finally passing away in 1946 at the ripe old age of 72, not long after the death of her beloved Atlas that same year. While Volcana is sadly only remembered by those already familiar with her story, she left a hell of a legacy in her wake. Not only did she achieve stardom, she also gave back to the world with her selfless deeds and ability to inspire. Her most heroic achievement, in my humble opinion, was her performance as a mother. While they pretended to be brother and sister for the sake of their careers and never married, Atlas and Volcana lived happily as man and wife and brought 6 beautiful children into the world. Rather than dump them off in an orphanage or leave them with relatives, as was customary with other celebrities of the era, Volcana defied expectations by successfully raising her children while building her career with Atlas. never being far from their side for any considerable length of time, and when the children became old enough, they happily performed on stage alongside their pretty badass parents until their retirement from the show business. So in celebration of this rather impressive lady who was one of the world's first embodiments of girl power, let us honor Miriam Kate Williams, aka Volcana, as the first true Wonder Woman. If you like this video, please show your support by hitting the like button and sharing it with your friends. If you're curious about my future content and want to hear more extraordinary tales, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you'll be notified when new content is uploaded. Until next time, have a lovely day, stay safe out there, and most importantly, look for the extraordinary.